Hello and welcome to Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. My name is Teresa. I'd like to welcome you out to the shed of many names on this beautiful sunny afternoon. Oh, the heat is coming through the window, and yeah, it feels good for now. Later on during the year, it'll be a different story. Well, I was out in my herb garden and looking at my other plants, and well, I harvest some rose hips that have been, yeah, winterized. So they have been stratified all winter long. So let's take a look down here and see what I have. I have this paper towel is all Rosa rugosa rose hips, ones that I left on the rose bushes. These are my favorite roses of all. These are the ones that you grow that make the huge rose hips. They're beautiful. Now these are a few hips left off of my other roses, regular roses. You can still use them. So I'm going to scoot that back so I can work with these. Now I'm going to clean the hips on this towel and put my seeds on this towel. So until I get my um, little envelope to put the seeds in, I'm going to put them on here. Rosa rugosa. Now, these are not your big showy rose flowers because they're not grown for the flowers. They're grown for the hips. So, what you're going to do, now I already have a whole, let me see if I can move the camera down more. Okay, this is as close as I'm going to be able to get it. So, these are the little itty bitty seeds of the Rosa rugosa. And this is what I'm going to be saving. Now, I could just crush them all up. Well, not crush, but I'll show you how to do it. And just plant it all at the same time. But I don't want hundreds and hundreds of rose bushes. But see how itty bitty tiny they are? And there's a pretty good chance that every single one of those will germinate. How do I know? And I speak from experience. So, we're going to put those on the paper towel. And I'm going to pause it. I'm going to get these out of the way. And I'll show you how to do another one. Alright, I have most of them up. Now you can use tweezers if you want to. But if you have inflammation or arthritis in your hands, that's going to hurt your hands a whole lot. Now, one thing I like to use is a spoon. And I'll just barely spoon the seeds up and move them over. Let's find another one. Here's a pretty one. This one's starting to shed because it's ready to scatter. And you'll see that they will just disintegrate in your hands. And then move that over. Roll the little stuff around. And there you will see your seeds. I'm just going to keep going. Alright, here's another big one. You smush them and let the seeds fall around. That one's full of seeds. And keep an eye on them. They're sneaky. The seeds like to hide. Now, of course, if you don't want to go to all this trouble, you can set up a little square or seed tray. I wouldn't do sales if you do this way. A pot, and just crush your rose hips in there and just scatter them around. Cover them up with soil and water them in real good. And make sure it's in a sunny location. I've done that before. Learned my lesson. Because I had hundreds of them come up. Because I didn't expect every single seed to germinate. But yeah, they fooled me. Now another good technique you can do is once you get your seeds cleaned or separated, you can soak them in water before you plant them. Let me tell you, they're going to germinate like crazy. So be prepared. This one has a whole lot of seeds too. Hit. They just exploded. I have so many rows of rugosa seeds here. But you'll be able to tell the seeds from the trash. Yeah, I'm gonna have hundreds and hundreds of rows of rugosa seeds. Just bukus of seeds. But it's gonna be fun because I need to start some new ones. Cause I'm trying to give it time. But I'm just going to have to face the writing on the wall. I think I lost 2 of my 5 parent plants. I think it just got too cold for them. Now, I do know that they done something very odd this year, which they don't usually do. Well, not this year, but last year. I noticed they sent out runner and started new rose plants. So I think they were just trying to let me know that, yeah, we about had enough. We about had enough. We're going to gift you with these plants, but we're fixing to go. And what you're going to do, and you can also do this with wild dogtooth roses, which are the wild roses that have the single petals. And look, you just keep opening them up, and you can see the little, if I can get it to focus, see the little brown specks inside. See if I can catch some sunlight. I can't catch any sunlight up close, but little brown specks inside, that's your seeds. You want to make sure, because you get them all, because they like to hide in some little fluff. They have little fluff inside. And it protects and holds those seeds in very well. Like I said, they like to hide. Had one that wanted to hide. But you'll just keep cleaning them, getting the seeds up, moving the seeds over. I'm fixing to go get a spoon. So I don't have any tweezers out here, and yeah, those tweezers are just going to aggravate the tendonitis like no tomorrow. But you just keep cleaning out each hip. Getting each little rose seed out. Rose of rugosa. Now, like I said, if you wanted to, take your big pot of soil, fill it up about 3/4 of the way, take your rose hips, and just scatter them like that. Yeah, you'll get plant material in there, but that ain't gonna hurt a thing. Just make sure you get all those rose seeds out and just scatter it real good. And then just cover them up with good soil. Water them in, put them in a sunny place. And before long, you're going to have roses popping up. Because believe me, these things are popping up in no time flat. I think it was maybe pushing a week later, maybe. If I was lucky, I think it was that long. They started coming up, and I was looking at them, and I'm like going, oh no, I'm in trouble. But this way, I can give to family, friends, the owls, rose seeds. Look at that. Look at all those beautiful seeds. Now, I'm going to scoot this over, move that out of the way, and I'm going to show you that the same goes for regular rose hips. Most people don't get to see regular rose hips because everybody's always deadheading them. Don't deadhead them. Leave them alone, or you'll never see the hip, and you'll never be able to grow you a rose from seed, because you done got rid of all the heads. Now the seeds in your tea roses and your common roses are a bit bigger. They're a whole lot easier to work with. Now there's no guarantee that any of them will germinate, but I've had no trouble with it, not whatsoever. You just make sure you get those seeds out. Like I said, they like to hide. And sometimes you can tell when they're not any good. If they're all shriveled and black and nasty, then there's a good chance they're not any good. And I'll tell you that these are like tea roses and stuff. They've been overwintered too. But I'll tell you one thing. These are a whole lot harder to open up than the Rosa rugosa seeds. There we go. These you have to work for them. But it's simple, easy, as long as you see rose hips. And this is exactly what they will look like on the roses. They're not pretty. This is what I get for trying to video in the shed when it's sunny. But yeah, they're not pretty. Not whatsoever. But it doesn't matter. There's going to be seeds inside of them. I'd much rather try to grow me a rose from seed than, not that I pay that much, but I've seen roses down here go for anywhere from 50, 60, $70. I saw one once for $100, and yeah, no, just not going to pay that much for a rose bush. Sorry, just not going to. I don't care how wonderful that rose is. But if you can get any hips off of your bigger roses, why not try growing them? Now, of course, you could take cuttings, but there's no guarantee. But you have a better chance of growing them from seed than you do a cutting. Trying to get all of that off of that one. They like to be obstinate. There we go, finally. But you can tell the difference. These are a mixture of my climbing roses and, like, I think I have a tea rose or two. I can't remember. I bought a bunch of roses on clearance at a nursery, and they were all expensive roses. I got them for $3 a piece. So see, there's the big, uh, let's just call them regular roses. Get some. Well, come on, if I can get my hand to work. This is why the tweezer method does not work for me. But, oh, crap, come on. I kicked the tripod. See, the Rosa rugosa rose seeds, and these are your full bloom, like tea roses, your climbing roses, your old fashioned, like, oh, what are those called? They're old fashioned roses. English tea roses. What are those called? I used to have them all. Um, they look like peony blooms. Oh, they are so beautiful. And they smell so wonderful. But you can see the big difference between, before I go back into memory, you can see the big difference between the rose seeds. These will get big, will be a big rose bush as well. These should start out bigger from the beginning. And you want to keep them separated, of course, because that way you know what you're growing. Now, I will bring you back in another video showing you how to plant them. I'm not going to scatter them this year. I know that much. I learned my lesson last year. But you're going to have to be prepared with the bigger rose hips, fighting to get them to open up because they're tough. It's almost like they don't want the seeds to grow. But as you can see, anybody can do this. You can do it. Yes, you can. You have to believe in yourself and be able to get a hold of rose hips. Now, do they have to overwinter? No, not really. I mean, it does them some good to overwinter. But this fall, after you let some of your roses go to hip, or also known go to seed, let them dry, or let them go to ripening stage where they'll be like a red or a brown. It depends on the rose plant. Let them go to seed, go to hip, and collect them and let them over. Make sure they're ripe. When they start to shrivel some, you know the seeds are done, and you take them inside and store them on paper towels so they'll get completely dry. You want to make sure that they are thoroughly dry. But to me, yeah, I know a lot of people are going, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Well, if you want something really good, you work for it. Nothing good comes for free. Unless you're lucky and win the lottery ticket. But even with that, there's going to be some pain and suffering with that one because you're going to have relatives coming out of the woodworks. All right, I'm going to pause this a minute and bring y'all right back. Apparently, I'm in a talkative mood. All right, I'm going to go on and finish cleaning these up, and I will bring you back when I'm done. It's gonna be a while. So I gotta go in and get me a spoon so I can get these little seeds up before any of them are lost, because I don't want any of them to get lost. Waste not, want not. Alright, now we'll see you back here in a little bit. Okay, finally through. Oh, through as much as I'm going to be. Now, all the regular roses, I did go on and clean all of the rose hips from them. I got a pretty good amount of seeds. Now, the Rosa rugosas, I didn't clean a whole lot of them, but look at all those seeds. That's a whole lot of seeds. I cleaned about a quarter of them, and I said, well, the rest can wait for later. When I want to do something that I can make myself, excuse me, y'all, make myself sit down. And I did end up going getting a trusty old spoon to get the seeds up. Alright, now, another hint about the rose seeds when you're cleaning the hips. Don't get discouraged if you get some hips that don't have seeds in it. It just means that it was not pollinated. That's all. Hold on a minute. Sorry, Jana was trying to break into the shed. The Rosa rugosas are easier for pollinators to pollinate because they are single petal roses. They're still beautiful, but you got to remember they're single petal roses, so it'll be easier for pollinators to get to pollinate them and cause each of the eggs, each of the ovaries within the potential rose hip to be fertilized. Now I know a lot of people are going, "Why are you making this video when this is a growing and homesteading video?" Well, guess what? This is gardening, y'all. It's not just for pretty aesthetic looks. Rose hips, especially from Rosa rugosas, are food as well. You can make jam, you can make jelly, you can make rose syrup, you can make uh, rose hip syrup. You can also make a rose hip ketchup as well. So yeah, not just for pretty looks. Now you'll have a little bit harder time getting rose hips from your regular roses. Sorry, y'all, because a lot of times a lot of people will deadhead them, and once you deadhead them, you've killed any chance of getting a rose hip off of your large roses. Simple, easy, anybody can do this, and we need to be saving seed from everything possible. Now, I will bring you back when I get ready to plant these. Now, the Rosa rugosa, I'm not going to be planting this whole pack, but it's going to be close. But I have plenty more to get more seeds from. Also, another thing, look at your rose seeds. Uh, if they are flat, look malnutrition, and skinny, that's not a good seed. Don't take from that stock. If your seed from the rose hip is plump, looks like it's been eaten good, it's fertile. You definitely want to keep it. You want to keep the little fatter seeds because it means they are ready and they're ready to grow. It's not hard to do, y'all. And they want you to pay such ungodly, horrible prices for these roses. And, well, I say no. I hope this video encourages you to also go out, gather wild rose hips, your dogtooth rose hips, if you grow Rosa rugosa and you left any on the plant, definitely go on and harvest those. And if you just happen to have climbing roses and tea roses that have hips on them, Grab them too. Keep them all separate though. That way you can remember what you're planning. Simple, easy. Anybody can do this. And yes, you can. You just have to believe in yourself. Y'all continue to stay safe and sound. Stock those pantries with food that will sustain you. Food that is nutritious. Stock your protection, stock your medicine, and other things that you will need. I look forward to seeing y'all in my next video. Y'all take care and may you each be blessed. I'll see you soon.